Alright guys, this is the old board in the left. This is the new prototype I made. I just salvaged all the salvageable stuff off of the left one. I made it just a little wider, and I added this voltage buck converter, which is a mini 360. And that's because I'm using a 12 volt supply, and these are good for up to 17 volts, and that's good enough for my use. So I was thinking about putting the LM2596 on the ones that I produce. That way they can take in an input up to 40 volts, which I'm actually using more than that for my my stepper drivers, so I couldn't use that anyways. But so I just threw that on there for mine. Now this is for my purpose. When I make the finished boards, I think everything's going to be in these green removable terminals, and I'm not going to use these black ones for the ones I produce. I just didn't have enough green ones. I ordered a bunch now. So this is a new design. I redid the circuit for the, well, on top of putting this buck converter, that makes the 5 volts from whatever I put in. And then I got this heavy duty 3.3 volt linear regulator. Now this is going to supply the microcontroller with the 3.3 and the limit switches with 3.3. So that supplies all the 3.3. There's no more voltage problem. I changed the design of the pull up and filter circuits for the limit switches just a little bit. They're more correct than I had them before. I left my MOSFET level converters the same because they work great. And after all of this, I found out that what I thought was the problem wasn't even the problem, because the problem actually was in my configuration settings. My $0 and $1 were both set to 0, and that was the problem, I believe. So either way, I designed this more correctly, the limit switches, and I did things more correctly. But the ones that I produce are going to be a lot different than this. You know, I run my coolant and my spindle and everything manually. So I didn't bring those pins out in my prototype board here because I didn't want to mess with it. And the real reason why I made it this way was so I can make it a one-sided circuit board and not have to make a very complex circuit board. And you know, I just wanted to test my circuits and my switch filters and all that stuff, you know. So when I design the ones to get professional circuit boards made for, then I'll add everything in. Every pin that it controls will be brought out. It'll be all these green removable connectors, and I'll try to put them all in order. So, like, say all the pins for one stepper driver go on one removable green block, you know. And see, I couldn't do that here because I would have had traces crossing over, and then I would have had to use a two-sided board and all that. So just for the prototype sake and making a one-sided board sake, I just put them in the order that they lined up with the stm32. But so yeah, the ones I'm going to produce have a professional board done. They're going to I'm going to have everything situated better together, and they're going to have you know, and that's why I left all this room in between here, is so they have plenty of room for the silk screen and the labeling. And it might be a little bigger than this, I don't know. I don't really care about making it small. I don't think people even care if it's small. I mean, it's about the same size as the stepper driver right now, but the finished product is probably going to be just a little bit bigger, or at least a little bit longer. But yeah, it's all working now. I got my CNC machine up and going, and here's a new board I made this weekend, and it all works, and the limit switches work, and I've got this CNC JS up and working. And obviously when I do a homing procedure, I don't have I've only got 3 axes hooked up right now, so I get an error when I do the homing. So I just, you know, unlock it after that, and then it works fine. I've been doing some testing, and I'm gonna have to go through the firmware and mess with it and all that. So, but yeah, the main problem was my $0 and $1 were not set correctly. But you know, I need to redo this board anyways and make it a little better. But the ones I have made are going to look a lot different though. So yeah, I'll have to sit down probably next weekend or whenever I get time and design the very finished design for the circuit board, and then have a company make them, and I'll probably just get like 50 of them and see what happens. And I already ordered a bunch of these green connectors, and yeah, so that's where I'm at. Alright, here's my machine. I was going to cut this big round 3/4 inch aluminum plate here once I'm for sure that everything's working correctly and stuff. So I might have to take it off and do some more test cuts just to be sure. But yep, that's what I'm going to be doing with it. Alright, later.